would like to make over 100,000. What's up everyone? It's been a little while since the last day in the life. I've been really busy, but today is Thursday and CPI data just dropped and market's making decent gap up. We'll see what happens today. The Fed meeting is next week as well, next Wednesday. So market is potentially at inflection point. Should be interesting day to trade. Okay guys, so just jumped in a SPX trade for September 12th, the 65.85 calls. Paid $6.40 for those, close to $6.20. They're almost at $8 right now. Tried to dip in the morning, I had a 20-point bounce. QQQ is back above 583, so let's see if we get a continuation to the upside, but market's looking decent so far. I bought the 65.85 call expiring September 12th at $6 and about 20 cents. They're at $10.60 now, and SPX is at 65.70, printing new all-time highs. QQQ is right near the all-time highs as well. So it looks like the market wants to run potentially into the end of the week. But yeah, market's looking pretty strong. The big market moving event is the FOMC on September 17th. Everyone's expecting them to cut rates, which they should. If they cut by 50 basis points, we should see the market rally. 25, I think you could start to see a pullback. As we get towards FOMC, I'm gonna start getting more defensive and positioning myself for a potential pullback if it does come. But you also have to look at the other piece of the puzzle, which is either the data or the macro news. And the market had somewhat of a positive reaction to CPI, right? We saw a gap up. If SPX can get through the highs of the week and the all-time high at 65.55, then to me, it's a good risk reward. So I took the 65.85 call above 65.55, paid around $6.20. And I think at the highs so far, right, there's still plenty of time left today and tomorrow, but the high so far I got up to about $10.60. And that paid within minutes. It paid within about 15-20 minutes. For the SPX trade, we're up about almost $10,000 on that trade. Not a big trade. Sometimes you don't want to size too big just because there's not a lot of time left in the week, especially when you're trading SPX or QQQ. You just have to be careful of that versus when you trade a stock, most expire on Friday. But for SPX and QQQ, there's expiration dates each day. Just jumped into Tesla 360 call near 357. So 357 is a level on the Tesla daily chart where if it gets to this level, it'll test the key resistance at 368. If Tesla gets to 368, I bet it runs to 400 very quickly. It stayed under that level for months. So we could see potentially a rotation into Tesla over the next week or two, especially if there's a positive reaction to FOMC. So we bought the Tesla 360 calls at $3. They're at about $3.30 right now, so up a little, but we want to see if these calls can move in the money today. So jumped in the Tesla 360 calls. I just alerted in my Discord. Bought it at $3. They're at $4 now. I have a sell order at $4.50. So let's see if that can fill. You can see here at the top of my screen, I have that limit orders to sell 50 contracts. SPX still near the highs. We're seeing some lag in QQQ still. That 583 is the all-time high level. So I'm not too surprised that it's struggling right there. Let's see if it can get through. Let me just explain the trade for you guys really quickly. So SPX, I haven't traded it all week, and there was one thing I was looking at leading into CPI is what's the reaction? And the reaction was positive. On the technical side, where's the level to trade off of? And it's 65.55, which was the high from Wednesday. So once it got through there, then to me, that lines up for a bullish trade. So jumped in those calls at 620, they're at 1060 now. And these calls could potentially move in the money if the market can rip here into tomorrow. QQQ is back above 583 as well. So let's see if we can see 590 before FOMC next week. Tesla, right, it sold off yesterday, right? But it got through yesterday's highs as well. It's up 2.5 points from there. So let's see if this one can finally break out and move towards 368. If so, then it's got a shot here to go to 400 sometime maybe October. Tesla just got to 360.5 with the 360 call at $4.50 from a $3 entry. So we got a quick 50% profit in about 20-minute trade. So far, yeah, up about 7,000 from that trade. 368 is a huge level. If that breaks, I think 400 should come fairly quickly. So let's see what happens. Between futures, SPX, and Tesla, we're up about nothing crazy, probably around 50,000. We're a little over an hour and a half into the day, so we got some time to see if we can make some more money. Pretty good day. It's not a bad day, but would like to make at least over 100,000 would be a pretty good day. All right guys, so it's 8:07 a.m. Pacific right now, and just a quick update. We took 2 trades today. We took SPX and Tesla, and both trades are paying so far. So I bought the SPX 6585 calls for tomorrow at $6.20. They touched almost $14. We're about an hour and a half into the day. Tesla, we got the 360 calls, and those are in the money now. Actually, most times when you're trading, you want to trade around the market moving events. And the big one for this week, the week of September 12th, was the CPI data, right? It came out pre-market on Thursday, September 11th. I waited for the reaction. I took some trades. Next week, like I said, is FOMC. So usually after Wednesday, you see a bigger move in the market. Always remember that. Trading around the market moving events is how you make money day trading. It's not about predicting, it's not about guessing, and it's definitely not hoping. Wait for the momentum, wait for the market event, and then execute your trades. All right, guys, I'm gonna buy the 365 call now on Tesla since it's trying to break out here. It looks like it wants to go to 368, maybe by tomorrow. Let's see if it can get there. All right, so we're in it now. So logging your trades, it gives you the data and the information you need to correct what you're doing wrong and to dial in and double down on what you're doing right. So if you look here, I have my own old school method of trade logs where I have the ticker and the strike, the time of when I entered, concise and shorter nowadays. I have my entry, the exit, and then the percent gain and loss. So this one is specifically all the trades I took in the Discord. So this week, it's been a pretty good week, September 8th to 12th. Almost all the trades have been winners, which doesn't happen every week, but this week just happens to be a pretty solid one. Yeah, logging your trades, it's gonna give you all the information that you really need to get better. If you want to be a full-time trader, you have to study all your losses and study your wins. The losses, you have to study it because in order to avoid making the same mistakes over and over, you have to know what you're doing wrong. The hard part about it is too painful to look back at the losses. If you can avoid these big downturns in your account, then you'll be able to change your P&L completely. Other than that, there's not too much going on. Apple red to green here. It's at 229, looks okay. UNH breaking out today, Duolingo. I was talking about that in the Discord the past few days when I got near 264, 275 range and just touched 315 today. Let's see if we can see a continuation move to the upside from today going into the end of Friday. Recently, I went to New York in August to meet up with some friends and to meet another trader. Didn't get that part on video. I posted a picture about it on Instagram, but finally got to meet Umar, you know, the guy who started TradeZella. Very memorable experience. That guy is extremely sharp, provides a lot of value. All right, everyone, so we are watching Tesla now. It's breaking out almost at 368. We've got a sell order at $5.30. We entered at $3.60, so selling about 50 contracts here near 530. So let's see if that hits soon. Close near 368. SPX holding up really well. Very tight range near 6580. QQQ also tight range above 583. It's near 584 now, so let's see if this thing can break up. IWM still leading. It's up 1.75% with QQQ only up 0.6 and SPX is up 0.79%. Took the Tesla trade and we jumped in on a roll to the 365 call. We got in about $3.60 for the contract and we sold half at $5.30. So Tesla just now moved up to right near 368, which is a huge breakout level. Pulled back about 2.5 points from there. Let's see if it can get back through either later today or tomorrow. If it can, then I think we see Tesla to 400. Potentially, it could come this month. If 400 claims, we'll see 488, which is the all-time high again on Tesla. So I just got some new cards recently. These are actually Chinese. So this is from the Pokémon 151 collection. And this is the Pull card, the rarest card. I got 2 copies of it. They just look really cool. I really like this card. When we were out in New York, we went to a Pokémon store and I bought the booster packs to try to pull it, but I didn't get it. And then I also have another cool, this is a Chinese card. It's a Pikachu with a side dog. I just bought it because it looks cool. This is a vintage Gengar because I'm trying to collect all the Gengar cards right now. Yeah, this one's from 2002. This one cost me about 7 grand for this card. So a little pricey, but I think it'll be a good hold over time. What's up, everyone? Just got back from PF Chang. Pretty successful trading day. Had some decent food there and just picked up a new mic. Discord members have been complaining about the AirPods, so upgrading my setup here. If you guys like these day in the life videos, like, comment, and subscribe to see more.